Lui et chaque journée, mon coach.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to An Hour to Give. This week, we're talking all about the Ottawa Hospital. I could talk about them all day long. We've got two great advocates talking to us today about the amazing campaign that's going on. Ginger Bertrand is joining us and Dr. Kwadwo Kyeremanteng. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, I'm going to start with Ginger. We've never met before.
No, I know,
and
it's our first time.
How's that happened
I know.
in this city?
I know.
But you have joined this incredible campaign. We're all behind this $500 million campaign to create a better tomorrow for all of us in terms of the Ottawa Hospital. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I am an entertainment publicist turned talent manager. So I work with content creators and sort of that next gen of talent that we're starting to see on air from, social media going to TV. We're seeing a lot of that crossover. They're writing books. So I work with a lot of that that generation of talent. And I started a company called Gab Group about 10 years ago now. And it is mostly based in Toronto, but during the pandemic, I actually moved back to the city, and this is my hometown. And actually, Rogers TV is my roots. This was my very first job here at Rogers TV back when I was 23 years old. My age starts with a 4 now, but okay. Yeah. So it's so nice to be back, and I'm just so thrilled to be part of this campaign. It is truly incredible, right, Dr. K?
100%.
Yeah, it is incredible. It is incredible. Now let's get to you, Dr. K. A lot of our listeners and our viewers today would obviously recognize you, and you were obviously steadfast through the pandemic, and you have been incredible in terms of sharing your knowledge about the medical field and health issues. Tell me a little bit about your role at the Ottawa Hospital.
Yeah, so fairly recently, or at least maybe about 3 years ago, it's going by fast actually. I started as department head for the critical care department, and I've worked over a decade now in the ICU and as a palliative care physician. And when I was approached by the crew to be a part of the campaign, to me it was like an absolute no-brainer, especially after some of the things we saw during the pandemic. I really wanted to be able to address some of the patient experience concerns, like when we were which we'll probably talk about later, but the ability to have private rooms, the ability for those patients to have the most dignified experience as possible, because we saw some pretty tragic things that happened over the course of the pandemic. So to me, it was just real. You didn't have to twist my arm to be a part of this. This is pretty meaningful.
And it's really incredible, the group of people that have come together to be a part of this. So you're not in this alone by any stretch, Ginger. There is a group, obviously you're with Dr. K as well, but this is an opportunity for you to really stand in front of your community and say, this hospital, the Ottawa Hospital, means this much to me, that I'm putting my name on this campaign. Tell me sort of the background story of why the Ottawa Hospital means so much to you.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's touch on the group that we're working with, because we aren't doing it alone. I mean, Roger Greenberg is still a big part of this campaign. And then, Dr. K and I are joined by Jeff Clark, who's the CEO of Inflector Environmental Services, and Kevin Ford, who is the CEO of Calian. And Tim Kloop, the president of the foundation, really brought together sort of a group that, we fill sort of different areas in the community. My sort of target is next gen. That's my experience. So I'm really trying to target the next generation, the young leaders of Ottawa, and getting them involved and reminding them that no dollar is too small and that everybody deserves a seat at this table, because this hospital is going to be for everyone. But we're also, we got the tech, we got healthcare, we got construction. I mean, so many important, business communities in the city that's rallying together to support this hospital. It's truly amazing. So I mean, I'm so passionate about this project, and I really do think that, if we're going to have a campaign called Creating Tomorrow, we really need to involve the generation of tomorrow, right?
Brilliant.
Right? Mm-hmm. So the next gen, the young leaders of Ottawa, are going to be the ones navigating this hospital for their parents, but they're also going to be the ones who are going to give birth at the hospital. They're going to be the ones using the hospital. They should have a say, and they should be part of building this. And that's why I feel so passionate about this project, because I am determined to make sure that this next gen, the young leaders of the city, know about this campaign and get involved.
Even though I'm as old as the hills, you've sold me. You've sold me. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. And your why, my friend. I mean, you work with incredible talent at the Ottawa Hospital. Is that part of the why?
There's so many components, Sam. Like so I alluded to this before. Like I really wanted to be part of creating a better experience for our patients. Mm-hmm. And I saw it several times during the course of the last 3 years where people were not having the best experience because they don't have those isolation rooms or their single rooms. We also are in a situation with a new campus that if we get another pandemic like we did, we'd be that much more prepared. We could handle more. We could keep our patients and the staff safer, and that to me was a real sign. And then lastly, Cam and Tim have been very vocal about this, that we're going to be able to have solutions for many of our healthcare problems, and that to me is what was a huge draw. I want to be part of the solution. When we have a center of excellence, when we have these innovation hubs where people are going to want to come to Ottawa and bring their talent, bring their research, bring their teams, so that we can provide optimal care in the region and come up with many of the solutions that we're addressing now, like the long wait times in Emerge, lack of primary care, the long wait times for elective surgeries, like things that are front of mind for so many people in our region. Like, we are going to be part of that solution by doing this. So to me, this was something that you didn't have to twist my arm for.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And I've said 100 times that there is a place for everyone in this campaign. Mm-hmm. And I love this. We hear about the multi-million-dollar gifts, which are needed, and we're so grateful. And the families that can afford to do that and have that kind of generosity and that kind of wealth, we are so grateful for them. But there is room for people living in Orleans and Barrhaven and Stittsville. I'm from Richmond. I'm a single mom in Richmond. And I said, you know what? Exactly what you said. I want my daughter to be able to drive by that hospital and say, Mom and I made a gift to that hospital. So talk to me a little bit about that, because I think it's really important that everyone knows there's a place for them.
Yeah, I just got chills. So I'm like still vibing here. I still got chills. Yeah, that's the thing. And somebody once told me this, and it was so impactful. And I want to say this here because I think it's important to start spreading the message that you never know what dollar is going to save a life.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
You never know. It's not necessarily that $10 million. It could be the $10 that you were able to give this month, So that's something that I hope people take away from this campaign, is that every dollar matters. You matter. We're building this for our community. We're not just building it for, one group of people. We're building it for the whole city. Also, the only trauma center, this side of Kingston. So we're building it for the rural communities as well. It's not just the citizens of Ottawa. And quite frankly, the last time we built in Ottawa in the city was the early 80s. Our population was, I think, 750,000, around there. We're over 1 million now. We don't only need this hospital, we deserve this hospital.
Sure. Any time in our lives where I was wearing neon is a very long time ago.
Exactly.
And we need to move on. Yeah. We need to move on.
But sometimes it's fun to bring the neon out once in a while, right?
Yeah. Isn't it coming back? Everything
Don't even joke, Dr.
Oh my goodness.
Don't even joke.
Yes.
You have a beautiful family. Is that also, aside from obviously being a wonderful doctor, when you go home at night and see that family, is that part of it as well for you?
Absolutely. Two reasons, right? So one of the values that we want to set for our kids is, like, we want you to be part of the solution. You don't sit on the sidelines when there's a need in our community. We want our boys to say, hey, let's step up. And so I'm trying to be that example. We're joining the team here of co-chairs of stepping up. And this is a lesson that I'm pretty I find it's important for the kids to not just say, but to do. And the second part is the environment they'll get to appreciate when they have their kids. When I'm assuming, I can't say for sure my boys will be in the region, but if they are, if they're in a place where they're going to be able to have the best care possible, a more refined patient experience, being a center of excellence where all the emerging healthcare tech and solutions are being part of, I think is great. And especially maybe if one of them wants to be in medicine.
Really?
If they want to be.
Yeah.
I think there'd be no pressure. No, but seriously, it definitely is like looking at my family is definitely part of it.
So we are heading towards 2025. It's hard to believe. We've got a number of weeks ahead of us. There is a huge opportunity to give right now. Tell us the bonus of giving right now to the Ottawa Hospital.
Oh, we've got a really great opportunity on the table, and from now until the end of the year, the Bargava family is matching every dollar up to $500,000. So every dollar, so we're doubling the dollars every donation.
It's fantastic.
Fantastic.
And there's just something about giving this time of year to begin with.
Yeah.
And then when that donation, right up to $500,000, is matched by Sam and Utra Bargava, it is really just that icing on the cake, if you will, Dr. K.
Oh, I just, to me, it's just so special. And Ginger really made the excellent point is you don't know which dollar is going to matter the most. And so when you're doubling that opportunity, especially now and at a special time of year, I think that is absolutely magnificent. So it's beautiful.
And where are we sending people, Ginger, to make that gift?
Yeah, we're going to creatingtomorrow.ca. That's the website. That's the hub of the information. You can do everything there. You can share that link, get loud about it, share it on your LinkedIn, on your social media, and you can make your donation directly there. And
I don't know about you, I don't need anything. I would love to see the community this Christmas, get a gift on my behalf. That's the kind of giving that I think this community needs. And I'm going to ask you, can you guys stay with me one more time?
Absolutely.
One more session.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
We got this. We got this.
Okay, perfect.
You're the one saving lives. So.
Yeah, exactly. Ginger Bertrand and Dr. Kodro Kiramentang are going to join us here and stay with us here on An Hour to Give to talk all things Ottawa Hospital. Come on back, everyone.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Watch the new season of The New Fly Fisher on Rogers TV.
Unbelievable. You just never see that. What a shot. Scores! The OHL on Rogers TV.
On the next Daytime Ottawa, Pranashanti Yoga returns to the show. We're going to be telling you about the history of cacao and its many benefits. And speaking of food, Julie Finley, Mom in the Know, is back with some great recipes courtesy of Foodland Ontario. And I have a feeling because it's closing in on the holidays, she'll be sharing some great recipes you can share with your family and friends. And artist David Kern from the Ottawa School of Art is back, and he's going to talk about the joy of painting and how painting with color can be much simpler than you think.
And we're back on An Hour to Give. I'm so glad you came back. Do you know who else came back? Ginger Bertrand and Dr. Quadro Mentang. I'm so glad that you stayed with me because we've got so much to talk about. Okay, can I just talk about being a patient at a hospital and sharing a room with another patient? So I was in hospital for 5 weeks a number of years ago, and I shared a room with 4 people. I know in my heart of hearts that delayed how well I healed. I would love your perspective.
So sorry you had to experience that in terms of that going through a 4-person room like this. That is not easy. And I think you address a really important fact. Like, part of healing is your mindset and to be able to rest and to recover. And when you're in a room with several people in it, every beep, 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 every noise, the snoring, the interruptions because of checking vitals is impairing that. And so I think personally this idea of having the single rooms is going to be so impactful for people. I see it on a regular basis from an ICU or dealing with really sick people. When they are stressed, everything is delayed. Everything is a bit more challenging in terms of their recovery. And then there's also the part of just keeping other people safe. Because like if you're in an isolation or a solo room, you're less likely to contract whatever that other patient is carrying. So to me, this is a huge step in terms of the safety, the patient experience, and like improving outcomes, your ability to recover and to get back to where you need to be.
And I'll add on there, and you see this all the time, I know you do, the family support that can be given in a single room as opposed to a room with four people in it. My family never felt comfortable visiting. They were always like, sorry, the privacy around all of it. So it impacts families too.
Absolutely, and I mean, maybe, I don't know if it's too personal, but with my mom, she passed away about a year ago, and thank you. And I got to tell you, when we moved to that private room and while she was having her, unfortunately, exiting the world, that experience of being able to be together and not having the distractions, having a beautiful view out of a window, honestly, I get emotional just thinking about it because it was healing in so many ways. And if I were to look at some of what I've seen our other patients have to go through because of necessity, I think everyone deserves that, and it means a lot that what we're trying to create is going to be able to provide that for patients and their families.
I can't wait. So that's the Ottawa Hospital of Tomorrow. That's creatingtomorrow.ca. We want everyone to visit. There's lots of information there as well. And I keep thinking as I drive by that new site, I get a little excited. Every time I drive by, I see more things happening. And I keep thinking, there's a lot of people working on this project, right, Ginger?
Oh yeah, lots of people. This project is going to inject $2 billion into the city. When we think of attracting the best and brightest to Ottawa, we want, the best tech companies, we want the best businesses. I mean, we have Shopify headquartered here. When we want to attract we want to bring the best to this capital city, we need infrastructure, we need transit, we need education needs to be tops, and we need our healthcare system to be tops. So this is going to be so pivotal in attracting some of those businesses that are looking to sort of come to Canada or come to Ottawa. And I just think it's really phenomenal. I mean, $2 billion injected into the community from this one hospital. That's massive, massive, massive.
Yeah. And as a doctor, when you think about, the Civic being built so long ago, celebrating 100 years of the Civic, it's amazing to think about that in its entirety. But to think that at some point we're going to be celebrating, you're going to walk into that hospital, the new Ottawa Hospital campus, for the very first time. Have you allowed yourself to go there mentally as to what that is going to mean to you as a physician?
I mean, I wear several hats, but as a physician side, I think it will be very powerful. Like, it will be this moment in history in our city where you were part of it. You're now looking into a future where where you're going to be able to provide optimal care and like cutting edge care. Walking in there, to me, it's really powerful, and I kind of laugh at, or I'm thinking of the trainees that are going to come in and expect that to be the new normal, and I was like, you guys have no idea what we were going through. But it's from that perspective, from a healthcare administrative perspective, where you want to be able to provide an area for growth and for creative solutions. That side to me, like that moment of walking in would be huge. And God forbid, as a patient, I mean, we'll all be patients one day. Like to know that you're going to be in a comfortable setting, cutting edge, and bringing the best of the best to your city, to me, will be unbelievable.
The best of the best. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, the researchers are the best of the best here in the city, what they're doing. Oh my gosh. And, the plans to bring clinical trials right to that patient experience with these individualized, private rooms and the ORs, the technology that they're bringing. It's going to be insane.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be we've never seen anything like this. This is going to be the most advanced hospital. I think they're saying in Eastern Ontario, it's going to be the most technologically advanced hospital, which is wild. Ottawa.
Well, and I've had a chance over the years through this show and through another show that I did to interview docs that say they got offers from Boston and New York and Europe and all over the place, and they chose Ottawa. I mean, as people that don't work in healthcare, I cheer for that, and I say, yeah, this is a city of 1 million people, and let's bring all the great docs here.
Absolutely. I think it's a little known fact that we punch way above our weight when it comes to research, and what you say, Sam, is so true. So many of our talented clinicians and researchers, they choose to stay. And what you're going to see, in my humble opinion, is this is going to be amplified. This is going to be a hub. People are going to be like, I want to be part of this movement. I want to be part of this environment. And the magic will happen in Ottawa, and that's, to me, super exciting.
It's really good because I've eaten a lot of bacon, so I need all of you there for me. I need you all there.
I love bacon.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the new generation, because my daughter's 16. I think about where she's going. She wants to stay in Ottawa, and I want her to have all of that here in Ottawa. I have a lot of hope for this generation. They're engaged. So talk to me about how you're engaging them in creatingtomorrow.ca.
Yeah, we've been working on this for over a year now, and sort of, developing new communication strategies and marketing strategies and sort of micro events and getting people involved. I think key for the next generation is to remember, and everybody who's sort of 40 plus, 45 plus, is to remember that word of mouth is actually the most impactful form of marketing. So if you're engaged in the campaign, it's important for you to spread that message and to teach your 16-year-old and to tell her where to go and how to get involved. And for those teenagers who may not have a part-time job yet, who maybe can't give the dollar, it's teaching them that when they can, they should. And it's also teaching them that because their voices are so loud, they really are powerful on social media, in spaces that some people just aren't there. And when we're talking about the medium being the message, then spreading that message, sharing that piece of content, sharing that news is equally as important, because we need to amplify this campaign, the campaign messaging, and people don't realize just a like or a comment or a share goes so far. As you know, Dr. Hay, you've got a huge audience on social media. You know this. You know the importance of a share or engagement, right?
Yeah, I think it's really powerful and an underrated tool to leverage social media. I think this is part of the reason why I was added to the campaign too, is your reach can be immense, and it was a real motivator of why I'm on social media personally. I probably feel the same way, is that an important message, like the many conversations we had over the last few years, can really have that much further of an outlook. So I think when it comes to the campaign, absolutely we got to be leveraging word of mouth, but that's social media. light.
Yeah.
100%. There's no better time to get loud than now.
Yeah.
We know that Sam and Utra Bargava have matching donations right up to the end of the year, up to $500,000. If they were here right in front of you, Dr. K, what would you say to them?
I mean, so many things. I would express, obviously, my gratitude for stepping up and doing their part and being a catalyst for our community to want to contribute. It's that much easier or that much more fulfilling knowing that you're going to have your funds matched. And so to them, I would just say thank you. And I have no doubts in my mind, and I know we feel the same way here, is that this campaign will directly save lives. I've been in this game now for almost 20 years as a trainee and as a full-fledged physician. What we're bringing here, whether it's future, like from a research side, or from just the skills that we'll have, the tools that we have to provide patients, will save lives. So it's immense gratitude, and I couldn't say enough, actually.
Anything to add to thank the community for how far we've gotten in the campaign at this point? We're heading towards $500 million, but anything you want to say as we wrap up today?
I can't believe how the community has rallied behind this project. It is the biggest project that the city has ever seen, the biggest fundraising campaign. It is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to be part of this, and I really just hope people get behind it. You know, people who haven't gotten behind it yet, get behind it, even in a small way, because like we've been talking about, every dollar matters, and this is so vital to our future. This is going to transform healthcare as we know it, and give our doctors this well-deserved hospital and infrastructure to do the best work that they can do and the life-saving work that we need.
Well, beautifully said. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much. Ginger Bertrand, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Dr. K, thank you so much as always. Dr. Kwadwo Kiramanteng joining us today, as well as Ginger Bertrand, sharing their love of the Ottawa Hospital. When we come back, the one and only President and CEO of the Ottawa Hospital Foundation, Tim Kluk. Come on back, everyone.
We fought our way through Italy and then headed for Amsterdam, sweeping for Germans along the way. Our worst fear was to catch a bullet in these last hours of the war.
I was 15 when the Nazis invaded the Netherlands. More than 100,000 Dutch Jews never came home. Our men were put into forced labor. By 1945, we were starving. The food drops gave us hope. And then the Canadians came.
Before Amsterdam, I couldn't have explained why we were there, all those years away from home, but the Dutch showed us why it mattered.
Papa wanted me to bring some soldiers home to thank them personally, and that's when I first saw Wilf, and I invited him over that afternoon.
Marguerite Blaise married Lieutenant Wilf Gildersleeve. They moved to Vancouver, where they raised 8 children. Today, the Dutch still remember the Canadians who liberated them.
On the next Daytime Ottawa, Pranashanti Yoga returns to the show. We're going to be telling you about the history of cacao and its many benefits. And speaking of food, Julie Finley, Mom in the Know, is back with some great recipes courtesy of Foodland Ontario. And I have a feeling, because it's closing in on the holidays, she'll be sharing some great recipes you can share with your family and friends. And artist David Kern from the Ottawa School of Art is back, and he's going to talk about the joy of painting and how painting with color can be much simpler than you think.
Kids these days, people say we lack initiative.
And technology, that we're all addicted.
Kids these days, we hear that we only care about ourselves. Apparently, we're lazy.
And don't seem to have any sense of independence.
Actually, kids these days are facing a lot.
Because the world has changed, and so have our health issues.
Kids these days, we could really use your help.
Join CHIO in our biggest fundraising campaign ever to transform pediatric care.
And we're back on An Hour to Give. I'm Sam Laprade. I'm so happy you're here because Tim Kluk is here. He's president and CEO of the Ottawa Hospital Foundation, and he is just making amazing things happen with a wonderful team. You and your team, first of all, I don't know how you do it. You're everywhere. And I think every opportunity that you're out in the community, you're spreading the message of creatingtomorrow.ca.
Absolutely, and listen, I think you're a bit of an extension of our great team and helping us spread that message. But you're right. You know, you just met Dr. Kay and Ginger. They're great members of our team. But absolutely, we're talking nonstop about the transformation that's going to happen in our city here over the course of the next few years, and it's just been remarkable to see how the community's responded and people wanting to get involved. But yeah, we're blessed. We're blessed with a great team and committed community.
So I can't be the only one that, you know, maybe sees you in the community, maybe at an Ottawa Senators game, and sidles up to you and go, what number are we at now, Tim? Raising $500 million. I don't know how any of you sleep at night, but you know, everybody wants to know the latest number. What's our number today?
Number today is $341 million towards our $500 million goal, which is incredible. We are absolutely humbled by the support and the number of donors, the people that have stepped forward to say, hey, this is a big time for our city. How do I get involved? How do I make a difference? And you know, we heard earlier from Ginger, every gift matters, and it really does in this campaign. This is the largest campaign in the city's history. And it's probably going to have the largest impact of any campaign in our city. You know, building a hospital, supporting research. So we've been very blessed, as I said, with the support of the community. Many people are first-time donors too, and many of our donors have made some of the largest gifts that they've made to any charitable campaign. And so really, really grateful to the city, grateful to our donors who are embracing this legacy project for Ottawa.
And you know, and I said earlier, I really do believe everyone has a place. You've just said it as well in this campaign. You know, I've speak to people about philanthropy all the time, and people think philanthropy is for $1 million gifts over $100,000. Now, Tim, we need those gifts. There's no two ways about it, and we have an incredibly generous community. But I want to touch on how a family living in Barrhaven, Canada, Orleans, you know, in anywhere in this community, downtown Ottawa, wherever they live, that maybe it's this time of year, maybe it's the giving season we think about when this match is happening, that we can think about the opportunity for a family to say, we're committed to this campaign. And maybe it's $100 for them, maybe it's $500, but there's a place for everyone.
There is, absolutely. And yesterday, I have a great pleasure. I call a lot of our donors and thank them. And yesterday, I reminded an individual that they've been giving to us for 21 consecutive years. So what a great call to make. I thank them for their gift, but they didn't realize that they'd been supporting us for that long. So that family that you're talking about is break it down to something that's manageable for you as a family, just like we all budget. And if you can think about charity, if you can think about this campaign, maybe you start by becoming a monthly donor. I know for my wife and I, our donation to this campaign, I'm using payroll deduction. So breaking it down every 2 weeks, and so that ongoing consistent support, monthly giving, you can pledge over time as well. So many of our donors are saying, we can do this annually as a family, and we're going to commit to this over the next 5 years. And that allows us, you know, to get that to plan, to be planful, that support's coming in over time. But and that's what our team does, you know, meeting with donors, understanding what's important to them. In some cases, there's taxable benefits of how you might structure your gift. So what I would say is just involve us in that conversation, reach out to the foundation.
And in my family's case, we agreed we were going to do $1,000 a year for 5 years. And then we had a situation where we could pay it all off. So we just phoned our friend Natalie and said, Natalie, let's just do it. And she was so gracious and said, we can take that today, of course. But the flexibility, I think, is what I wanted to share there.
100%. And it's got to be right for the family. Roger Greenberg, who's an incredible leader in this campaign and very, very generous, you know, he met with our staff a couple years ago and he talked about the importance of philanthropy and giving. And he equated the story to say many of our staff in the room, 100% of our staff, by the way, are donors. And he said, you know, I know you giving might mean one less dinner out a month. It might, you may go without something. And, you know, that is the power of philanthropy, that many of us are willing to forego something in order to you know, help the community, to do something special. And this campaign does afford that opportunity.
For sure. Giving Tuesday, December 3rd, it's been circled on your calendar for a while. I love that it's December 3rd because 3 has some meaning for you here in terms of tripling donations. Tell us how it's going to work.
It's amazing. Yeah, I think it was probably about a year ago that you and I had the pleasure of meeting Michel Brazeau. Michel, his wonderful message, you know, and now the late Michel Brazeau, he shared his journey with the Ottawa Hospital. He shared his commitment to philanthropy, and his message was, don't stand on the sidelines, get involved. It was so moving. We have an anonymous donor, someone who wants to stay in the sidelines, has generously agreed to triple contributions up to $100,000, and they're doing that in tribute to Michel and his family and Lori, and that's the heart of philanthropy, right? And so the great news is individuals who are giving in and around Giving Tuesday, this donor is there to triple your gift. So you talk about impact. What a great time if you're that family in Barrhaven thinking, hey, I'm going to start. Great time to start now because you know your gift is going to be matched.
100%. And you know, Tim, I've done over 13,000 interviews, and there's a handful that stay with me.
Yeah.
And
yeah, pretty special. I shared the stage with Michel at a donor event, and I would say it was one of our best events. His directedness about the care he's receiving and his desire to give back, and his direct call to action to all of us, like,
and so
be
positive.
a change, be an agent of change, and so positive, right? Yeah,
it was
amazing.
incredible.
Yeah,
and I was, of course, so sad to hear of his passing this past year, and just this opportunity to we often throw around the word legacy, but when I thought about this today, I thought, now that's legacy.
Yeah.
Right? That's a legacy. So in life, he shared his values. His values were very much tied to the Ottawa Hospital. And in his death, we see that legacy continue.
And we all create a legacy for our family. And there are so many donors that we talk to that tradition of giving back was instilled in them by their parents, by their grandparents. It's just what they do. And you have to start somewhere. Right? We all don't have immense capacity, but it starts somewhere in giving back. And this is why this campaign and opportunities like Giving Tuesday and the Bargava match, I know that was mentioned previously, these are great opportunities to start that family tradition within your own family.
Absolutely. And your team, I mentioned them off the top, is this the kind of thing that spurs them on? Because I know how exhausting it is to be a fundraiser because you're just wanting it so bad and you're wanting to inspire people and you know you're telling stories and you're working with the community. It's not for the faint of heart. So is this the stuff that spurs on your team?
Absolutely. It's one more reason to reach out to a donor, to be able to talk about the match, the progress we're seeing on the campus now with the parking garage coming out of the ground and the advanced works happening. There is a beehive of activity in building this new campus. That motivates us. I get a call at 5 o'clock last night from a donor who said, I want to make a gift today. It was a very generous gift, and he hadn't given to us in years, and so that keeps you going, right? You know the message and the project is resonating, and it's moments like that where, yes, you're spending 2 or 3 nights out a week and you get a little tired. It's those kind of phone calls that absolutely reinforce why we're doing what we do.
For sure. And, you know, I think about all of the times where I've arrived at the civic campus of the Ottawa Hospital and been a bit nervous for me or a family member. And I just think, I can't imagine how we're going to be able to provide the tools, the technology, the research to the new campus and just give that talented team that I'm happy to arrive at the Civic today and have them help, but boy, does it ever up the ante.
Absolutely. Whether Dr. K used the word game changer or not, it's a game changer, really. And this is a purpose-built facility where the physicians, the nurses, allied health, they all have a part in designing that space that meets both the patient and family needs, but also as a caregiver, meets their needs, which allows them to focus on what they do best, and that's care for patients.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So remind us again, where can we make a gift to triple that gift, of course, coming up on Giving Tuesday?
Yeah, so ohfoundation.ca or creatingtomorrow.ca. Those are places you can go to make that gift. Look up the foundation, give us a call. You can make a gift online as well. I know we have a postal strike, so reach out to us directly. We'll be happy to accommodate.
I'm really glad you mentioned the postal strike because there are so many different ways to give, and we want to get that gift in by the end of the year for all the obvious reasons we've spoke about today. So that's a really, really good point. And it's an opportunity as well, and this is something your team has done remarkably well, is there's so many stories to be told. The 100th anniversary of the Civic, I mean, there's 100 stories there, and I was happy to be one of them. And but I think part of that for me, when I look at kind of what's coming down the pike for us, is if you need to be inspired, you just need to go to creatingtomorrow.ca. You need to look up anything with the Ottawa Hospital Foundation. You're going to find a story. If you don't have your own story, there's a story there that's going to inspire you.
100%. For our fundraisers and our volunteers, often who don't necessarily have their own personal connection with the hospital, that's what I say. Go to our website, read the remarkable stories, and you'll find your voice. You will see yourself in one of those stories, whether it's someone who's battling cancer or taking part in a clinical trial, first research that's happening here, or an inspirational story of someone who has been treated and now they're giving back. And ohfoundation.ca, creatingtomorrow.ca. You can find our contact info and lots of great stories to motivate you.
Okay. Now, I know you're a busy guy, but will you stay with me one more segment?
Absolutely.
Okay, sounds good. Tim Kluk is coming back, President and CEO of the Ottawa Hospital Foundation. Creatingtomorrow.ca is where you can make your gift. We want you to do that online because of that postal strike. We want to make sure that you get that triple benefit of your gift. Come on back on An Hour to Give.
For me, the end was just the beginning. I felt I must come. If I did not come at once, it would be too late. And these places that are watered with the best blood of Canada might only be names and memories. I see it in the soldiers, the grief I know so intimately. And I will not abandon these men to it. The isolation wears on me. Slowly, the silence takes over, as if my heart has given out of air. I cannot talk. I can only paint.
For more than 2 years, Mary Ryder Hamilton painted the battlefields of the First World War, creating an unforgettable visual record of service and sacrifices at immense personal cost.
Kids these days, people say we lack initiative.
And technology, that we're all addicted.
Kids these days, we hear that we only care about ourselves. Apparently, we're lazy.
And don't seem to have any sense of independence.
Actually, kids these days are facing a lot. Because the world has changed, and so have our health issues. Kids these days, we could really use your help. Join CHIO in our biggest fundraising campaign ever to transform pediatric care.
Hey everybody, my name is Karen. I'm here with my best friends Shane and Monique. Join us on Rogers TV for Fitness Faction. Every week we're going to take you through a full body workout. We've got strength training, we've got cardio, we've got HIIT. Ladies, let's get back into it.
I think we've got 10 more skaters. Let's go.
Well, you're going to be glad you stayed. Tim Kluk is here. He's the president and CEO of the Ottawa Hospital Foundation. He's joining me here on An Hour to Give. I don't think an hour is enough to talk about the Ottawa Hospital. There's so much to talk about.
We'll stick around a little longer.
Yeah, that sounds great. When we think about all of the stories that you've heard, and we spoke about Michel Brazeau and the late Michel Brazeau, which is really hard for me to even to say. He inspired me so much, and the opportunity for this legacy in terms of this gift that's matching up to $100,000. You've heard so many stories, Tim. How do you sort of manage hearing all of that? Is it inspiring for you to know how much sort of groundswell there is for the Ottawa Hospital?
It is really inspiring. When you work within the charitable sector, in your heart you want to give back. It's part of who you are. And when I speak to our team, I think that each and every one of us is in a privileged position at this moment in time, working within the sector. So working at the Ottawa Hospital Foundation, promoting the Ottawa Hospital, an institution that means so much to so many. If you think of the hospital, we provide 70% of all adult care in this region and 100% of specialty care. So everyone in this community, like it or not, you're going to be touched by the Ottawa Hospital. It's only a matter of time. So position of privilege representing the Ottawa Hospital, it is that. And certainly at this moment in time where we are absolutely reshaping the future of healthcare, we are. It's a wonderful time to be part of such an important campaign, important project.
And of course, the CEO of the Ottawa Hospital, Cameron Love, and you would spend a lot of time together talking about this campaign. Does it inspire you when you get together, the two of you, and you think about the talent that is being attracted to this hospital, not only now, but in the future, and what that'll mean for our kids?
Yeah, for sure. So recently we had a session with all directors and managers across the hospital, and the topic was the patient experience. And we had leaders across the organization talking about how can we as a hospital do better? What are the opportunities to improve that patient experience? And we are so committed to meeting the needs of our patients. And yes, we're all frustrated a little bit about the healthcare system, but I think things are improving. But it's great for our healthcare leaders as well to know that the community has their back, and the support of this campaign really is a testament to the community's appreciation of the Ottawa Hospital and the important role that it plays. And I know for Cameron, the CEO, very gratifying for him when he has the opportunity to meet with donors as well and offer his thanks. And it's donors and it's volunteers, like people giving their precious resources, but also donating their time and a lot of time to help the Ottawa Hospital in some capacity, whether you're raising money or sitting on a patient advisory committee or the board of the hospital, you name it.
I just find whenever I see anything from the Ottawa Hospital Foundation in terms of this campaign, creatingtomorrow.ca, lots of great information there, that I just get my or my love button. I'm just clicking all day long because I see all the people you're attracting to this campaign. Of course, we met a couple earlier, but it just seems that from every sector of this community, I don't want to even start to name them all, but someone has stepped up, put their hand up and say, I want to be the person that represents us as a sector. How key is it that everyone's at the table?
Absolutely. So Ginger spoke today about our next generation strategy, and similar Dr. K and his network and our medical providers, construction, high-tech business. We need the entire community. So you're absolutely right. This kind of critical phase of the back half of our campaign with $160 million to go, $159 million to go, we do need the support from each and every corner of our community, whether it's a workplace, thinking how can I engage my employees in some positive impact in our community. Talk to us about engaging your employees and perhaps a workplace campaign, and similar to seniors who are looking for a way to contribute to the future generations of healthcare in our community. Great way to get involved. So we've said it a few times, every gift does matter. It absolutely has a tremendous impact.
If you were jumping on an elevator, and let's say you're heading 20 floors up, and you had to describe this campaign to somebody, how would you describe it?
I would say this is our once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to shape the future of our city. Every great city has great healthcare, arts and entertainment, education, sports, you name it, what makes a city. But healthcare is a cornerstone, not only because we bring world-first care to our community, which we do, informed by great research, but we also make Ottawa a vibrant city for doing business and for others to come to Ottawa. So having a strong healthcare system, a new purpose-built facility informed by research, technology, and innovation, researchers and physicians and nurses can go anywhere. They can go anywhere in the world.
True.
We want them to come to Ottawa because it benefits all of us. So they can practice their trade here, and we have the first benefit of their leadership and their specialty right here at home in Ottawa.
I've had a really interesting perspective over the last couple of years. I sort of divide myself in half. I work half in philanthropy, half with the business community. And every time I speak with a business leader that talks about being headquartered in Ottawa, they talk about the quality of life. They talk about this new, obviously the new campus of the Ottawa Hospital. They talk about all of these pieces that make basically 1 million people. I mean, we're growing, but that make this city what it is. And I've seen the business community step up. So they know the importance of attracting talent for them too.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We're not isolated. We are so integrated as a community, and for us to see business leaders doing exactly what you said, the importance to them to have a vibrant, innovatively rich hospital, that ecosystem. There's great spin-offs as well for local businesses who are informed by research or informed by technology and innovation happening at the Ottawa Hospital. Absolutely, we're not in isolation.
So I asked this question of Dr. K. I'm going to ask it of you. Have you allowed your mind to go to that first walkthrough, not kind of with hard hats, but that first walkthrough of the Ottawa Hospital, the new campus? You've raised $500 million. Have you allowed yourself to go there and mentally put yourself into that scene of maybe you and Cameron Love walking in together? Well,
Cameron and I walked the site a few weeks ago, and it is amazing. So I'd really encourage people to take a drive by the site. There's a lot happening there. Really, really excited. I do think about it. I think about the opportunity of walking through those front doors, and I will be very proud that day. I think I'll be proud as a city. I'll be proud professionally in terms of being part of it. It's a transformation, and I know what it was like when we opened the new Royal Ottawa Hospital because I was part of that. So to see the light change of the old turning into the new, and a purpose-built facility that was not limited by geography in terms of its layout, etc. So I'm very much looking forward to that. It's going to be an exciting day.
And I love this city. I know you do too. And I'm going to use a word I don't often use because I try to be quite humble about things. But I think we deserve this as a city.
Absolutely.
Like I'm getting really kind of bold about it and saying, you know what, I think this is something we deserve. We are a great city. We attract great people. We have, as you mentioned, great sports teams and great culture and arts. I think this is what we deserve.
I say the exact same thing.
Do you? Okay, that makes me feel better.
I say our physicians deserve it, our nurses deserve it, our patients deserve it, we deserve it. We're a world-class city, and we need the very best health care. And it's something by standing up and donating and being active, you can shape that future. Whether it's helping us recruit a researcher from Norway to come to Ottawa by supporting research, or supporting the facility, which will have the latest technology, latest equipment, we can make a difference. But I agree, Ottawa deserves it. We're large enough to make a difference, and we're small enough to be nimble to work together for the best.
Oh, I love that. You're probably telling everyone that. That's the first time I've heard that, but I love the way you said that, because I think it's true, 100%. So inspire us again. I'm thinking about the late Michelle Brazeau, someone wanting to make a gift today, they're heading to creatingtomorrow.ca. But what will happen on this very special Giving Tuesday?
So Giving Tuesday, all the dollars will be matched up to $100,000, so 3 times the match. Incredible. If you miss us by Giving Tuesday, Sam and Utra Bargava also matching gifts up to $500,000 by the end of December. Longtime supporters, very generous couple in the community. So there you go, supporting the Ottawa Hospital in the month of December, incredible way to leverage your support.
It really is. It's inspiring. I know we spoke a lot about Michelle Brazeau today, but is there anyone else you're thinking about today that has really inspired you as you head through this campaign?
I would say our volunteers. Our volunteers, whether it's our foundation board, our chair Janet McCaig, someone like Roger Greenberg, our chair emeritus now of the campaign, who has been the hardest working volunteer I've worked with in my entire career. And that's a while. Roger is so committed to this project. You've interviewed him, you've heard him. And then our 4 new co-chairs. We saw Ginger and Dr. K, and thinking of Kevin Ford and Jeff Clark. Those folks inspire me because they are wanting to shape the future of the city, and they're standing up with their own financial dollars and their time to make it happen.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, I picture, you and I picture on the front page of the Ottawa Citizen, you and Cameron Love walking in there for the very first time when it's all done.
Yeah.
And I think who at that point will have not come to the table? I really think it's going to be zero. I think at that point, by the time you reach 500 million, you'll have touched every single person in this community, and they'll know whether it's a $5 donation, a $500,000 or $5 million donation, that they'll have been part of it. And I think there's also that pride when we walk in there for the first time, and whether it's to see a loved one or be cared for ourselves, knowing, even driving by, knowing that we all had a hand in it. And I think there's pride as a city that you want to know that you've been a part of this campaign.
Absolutely. We've used the word legacy. You're being able to tell your kids and your grandkids, I remember when. We just celebrated our 100th. 100 years ago, the community rallied to build the original Civic. Here we are with the exact same opportunity to pay it forward for future generations. So in the words of Michelle Brazeau, don't sit on the sidelines. Use this as an opportunity to get involved and shape the city.
Beautifully said. Tim Kluk, I don't know how you do it. I swear you have 36 hours in a day and we only get 24. But thank you so much for everything you've done for this campaign and for our city. Appreciate it very much. Tim Kluk, of course, joining us today to talk all things Ottawa Hospital. I know we've inspired you today. How can you not be inspired by that triple donation opportunity on Giving Tuesday? Visit creatingtomorrow.ca and you'll make a difference and be part of that wonderful legacy. I'm Sam Laprade. This has been An Hour to Give.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
I'm Sam Laprade. I hope you join us for An Hour to Give. It's a wonderful way to learn all about the charities and nonprofits in this community that are changing and saving lives. Look forward to seeing you then.
On the next Daytime Ottawa, Pranashanti Yoga returns to the show. We're going to be telling you about the history of cacao and its many benefits. And speaking of food, Julie Finley, Mom in the Know, is back with some great recipes courtesy of Foodland Ontario.